Welcome back. We are talking about achieving the optimum brain health and mental wellness. And we're addressing that through nutrition. Most of the people that see me about nutrition actually just want to lose weight. So I'm going to talk about a program called SLIM, Structured Limits Ingesting Mindfully, which is a successful eating strategy to reduce overall body weight. And so I'll start by reminding you that feelings are not fed by the fridge. This sign was put to Joseph to remind him that what he's not feeling is hungry, that he's bored. And so that is the important question to ask yourself if you are getting something to eat. Am I hungry? If you are not, then the answer that you're looking for is not found in the fridge. So you should ask yourself, am I feeling depressed? If so, call a friend. Or journal in a gratitude journal. If I'm feeling stressed or anxious, maybe go on a walk, do some exercise, or stretch, or do some deep breathing. If I'm feeling lonely or bored, figure out some activities to do. So identify the feeling and don't use something that's not going to answer or not the right response to that feeling. And remember, your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have from God, and you are not your own. You were bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God with your body. We want to have the best temples possible. We want to have the best bodies possible to serve God and serve others, to be able to inform the world of who God is, how He loves them, and represent that. Now, structured limits ingesting mindfully is looking at when to eat, how much to eat, and the length of time to eat it in, and how to eat it mindfully, to focus on food and conversation one at a time during your meal. Let's take a look at this. So when, ideally, choose 3 structured times to eat. So let's just say, for our example, 8, 12, and 4:30. And let's say we are doing a calorie reduction, so we're going to do no more than 450 calories per each meal. And so that would be your structured eating. We're going to stick to that as much as possible, as much as your schedule would allow. And when would you eat this? Why are we choosing this? Because 8 o'clock opens an 8-hour eating window, and we're going to do 16 hours of intermittent fasting in between the 8-hour eating window. When something comes along between a temptation of food or something, we're not going to have snacks between except water, tea, or black coffee. And then we're going to stop eating at 4:30, at least 4 hours before bedtime, so we can have a good sleep session and we give strong signals to the brain and body on what we want it to do. Now, how much are we going to eat? We're going to eat 1 handful. Why 1 handful? Because this is a model of a stomach. That's a hand next to it. And this is a real stomach in surgery, and those are real hands next to it. Now, this is a real big burger, and those are 2 hands, so this is too much food, doesn't fit in the stomach. Now, how long? 1 handful of food, or 450 calories, over 20 to 40 minutes. Now that's about 1 bite per minute. It's probably a lot slower than you're accustomed to eating. And this brings up mindful eating, which is focusing on the sight, smell, and flavors of the taste without the distractions of TV, phone, or Facebook. After a bite, then put your chopsticks down. Why chopsticks? Because chopsticks slow you down. Focus intensely on conversation with others in between bites. Don't focus on the food and then on the conversation. And chopsticks are available always here in Hawaii, so that's a good option. And then go back to the next bite of food. Focus on that, and that intensely. Focus on the flavors and the food only. This is what mindful eating looks like. This is what mindless eating looks like. So mindless eating, you gobble down the food in 5 minutes. You're eating with your hands. There's no breaks between bites. So you're eating while you're watching TV. You're not even focused on what you're eating. You're not even enjoying the bites that you're having. And so you don't drink water with it. So you should drink a nice glass of water, fill up your stomach, and not focused on conversation or others between bites. Now, what if I'm hungry and it's not time to eat? Have some water, tea, or black coffee. Remind yourself there is another meal coming. I'll survive until my next meal. Drink some water, and nothing lasts forever. So this is a time and ghrelin plot. And what you will notice is that ghrelin reduces dramatically after a meal. But with fasting, it doesn't just keep going in a straight line. It will drop off over time. So even if you feel hungry, wait a minute, you might feel a little bit more hungry, and then the hunger will start going back down. It doesn't go up infinitely forever to where you're going to eat the styrofoam off of the couch or whatever. And so the other thing to see here is that over time, as you deal with hunger attacks in between meals, it actually dampens, it actually gets better with consistency, with structure. So that's why you would keep structure and this structured plan of eating, sending a clear signal to the brain of what's coming next, what we're going to do, what it can expect. And so what if I miss a meal? It's 9 a.m., I didn't eat breakfast, just wait till the next meal. Drink some water, drink some black coffee. Now, this is to remind you that here's 460 calories from eating out versus cooking at home. And so it's always better to cook at home, prepare your own meals. You can control the calorie portions and you get more fulfilled with home cooking whole food. This is what 1,200 calories looks like in a day. So if we plot this out and structure this, then I'm not saying necessarily eat like this. I'm just giving you an idea that it's one handful or a very small snack that adds up very quickly. And if you need some help with binge eating, if you feel like you've lost control, these are two good resources for binge eating. These are two good resources for mindful eating as well. Now that you have the head knowledge, how do you take it to heart? How do you actually follow in obedience to this idea? Well, to look at that, I want to give you an idea, a cultural study. Now, if we look at the OECD nations, so the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development nations, who leads the world in obesity? That would be us, United States, 36.2% rate of obesity. And who is the lowest in obesity? Well, that would be Japan. They also have the longest life expectancy. So they have a 3.2% obesity rate by contrast. So the next question that people ask me that are critically thinking about this, they say, well, is this genetic or cultural? Are they just born like this? Or is it cultural? Well, there's good evidence to think it is the cultural factors of their relationship with food, based on the fact that as their culture changes, their obesity rates are changing, are increasing, just like other countries with the same fate that have changed to a more westernized American culture and relationship to food. So, with that being said, let's look at their relationship to food and how we can change our relationship to food so that we can do better. So the first thing is portion size. There's a Buddhist concept or practice called harihachi-bu, which is 80% full and then I stop. By contrast, in America, we supersize meat. The larger the better. The better value, the more food for the cheaper amount, that's better. And mindful eating. Mindful eating is something that Japanese do. They make it an event. They take 20 to 40 minutes to ingest a handful of food. They make it pleasing to the eye. Sushi is very culinary delightful to look at. And in America, we do mindless eating out of a sack with TV and gobble it down in 5 minutes. Don't even think about the food that is going down. We don't even appreciate it. Now, in Japan, they drink tea, which has no sugar, no calories in it. And the vending machines, even if you look at the vending machines, which Japan is full of vending, actually Japan has the most vending machines per capita of any other country in the world. However, the vending machines are full of non-sugar options. So they will have water or tea with no sugar in them. And there might be one sugar option beverage in there. By contrast, in the US, the number one drink is bottled water, 24.8%. But the number two drink is soft drinks, 21.9%. So almost as much as bottled water, we drink soft drinks. Now, eating, again, make it an event. Eat it with chopsticks. That is how the Japanese do it, rather than wolfing it down with your hands from a fast food bag. And home cooking, using whole food ingredients is always better than the processed fast foods that we eat here in America. And in Japan, there are structured 3 meals with no snacking in between. So you don't see people eating on the subways or walking down the street, on the sidewalks. They're not eating everywhere like we do in America. In America, it seems that we're eating all the time, anywhere, anytime, and you can get it delivered. It's our God-given right to order a pizza at 2 a.m. and have it delivered to us. And nobody's going to stop you. It's not socially unacceptable to eat more than you should. Whereas in Japan, if you order too much, they will say, oh, you don't want to embarrass yourself. You have ordered too much. You probably want to take one of these items off. Now, nutrition in Japan is very important from youth. The nutrition are educated in elementary school. But in America, food is reward. If you're good, I'll take you to McDonald's. Now, in Japan, there's regular eating times. We have structured eating. We've talked a lot about this. But in America, we have lack of forethought, lack of planning in our meals, which means more fast food. We'll just grab something on the go. And in Japan, they walk and cycle to school or work. This is called non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT, which is just basically being active other than going to the gym. And it's passive exercise. It's taking the stairs instead of the elevator. It's parking far away and walking. And there's just a lack of that. We try to make everything as energy efficient, I guess, in America as possible, with no NEAT, no non-exercise activity thermogenesis. I hope you use this and apply this to make the best brain and body that you can.